Your husband got another woman pregnant. Pay me $200,000 in damages, you scum. On the wedding day, Tom suddenly bursts into the dressing room, making an unbelievable demand. He looks proud. But Tom himself doesn't realize his demand is contradictory. It seems that Tyler, standing nearby, also noticed this. Is that really true? Yes. Why would I lie? Now pay up for the damages. However, we didn't agree. After all, the story was obviously a lie. Tyler and I couldn't help but laugh at Tom's anger. My name is Emily Ida. 34 years old. I live a mundane life while working a regular job. Raised by average parents, I've lived as an ordinary person. I never ventured into anything tricky and just went with the flow. Well, I can't really define what ordinary is. Despite this, I had one major concern. I couldn't get married. Most of my close friends, colleagues, and juniors at work were married and had families. But I never had the opportunity and was left behind. It was hard to invite friends out on weekends since they all had families. So, I'd just stay home, watching recorded shows and variety programs. Seeing piles of soda bottles and beer cans would sometimes fill me with emptiness. Will I be alone forever? Thinking about the future scared me. But it seemed pointless to act now. It's unlikely any man would fall for me. I was almost giving up on marriage, just living day by day. But then, a turning point came. I got a boyfriend. And he wasn't weird or violent. Just a normal, kind guy. His name is Tyler. I met Tyler through work. A new client came to our company, and he was the representative. Initially, our conversations were just formal, but gradually we got closer and started dating. Then, Tyler proposed. Hey, let's get married, shall we? What? Taken aback by such a casual proposal, I let out a silly sound. Looking at Tyler, he slowly met my eyes and smiled gently. I accepted his proposal. Truly happy. I had almost given up, but here I was, about to marry a wonderful man. A new life was about to begin. A new and happy life. Lost in this fluffy feeling, I thought about my days with Tyler. But I had forgotten something. One person in my environment was far from ordinary. I have a sister close in age. Her name is Sasha. Since childhood, Sasha has always been mean to me. As a kid, she'd take away my toys or hide my things. Even on my birthday, she broke my toy because she didn't get one. In elementary school, she'd spill juice on my homework. Or hide my pencil case and borrowed items. Sis, where did you put the book I borrowed from my friend? A book? I don't know. I left it on my desk. I didn't move it. I don't know. Maybe you lost it. I feel sorry for your friend, lending you stuff just to lose it. I never mistreated anything I borrowed. That's the least I could do. And my parents wouldn't touch my stuff without asking. So, it had to be Sasha. Please, stop it. Give it back. Ugh, so annoying. When I pressed her, Sasha reluctantly took out what I was looking for from her desk. Here, happy? Stop making such a fuss over one missing thing. She threw it at me, careless even though I said it was borrowed. I was always on edge because of her rough handling. In fact, I had to replace things she broke or dirted with my own allowance. After her behavior got worse, I stopped borrowing from anyone. But it didn't seem to matter to Sasha. She'd use my manga or stationery without asking and return them dirty. As a result, many of my things had stains and dirt. We grew up, through middle and high school. But Sasha's harassment never stopped. She should find something else to enjoy. I pitied her. However, on a certain day in my sophomore year of high school, an incident occurred. Unbelievably, Sasha stole my boyfriend. A few days before I found out, I couldn't reach him and was worried. Then, Sasha started fiddling with her phone in front of me. Smirking, clearly wanting me to ask. So, I casually did. What are you doing? She looked at me as if she'd been waiting for this. Guess what? I don't know. Your boyfriend. He's cute, isn't he? What? I didn't understand what she was saying. Sure, I had shown her a photo when I got a boyfriend. But they had no connection. Or so I thought. Confused, Sasha turned her phone screen towards me. There, to my shock, was a photo of Sasha and my boyfriend, close like a couple.
Why?
My words slipped out. Sasha replied with a smug smile. I took your boyfriend.
What?
Found him on social media and made a move. It was easy. I've liked him since you showed me his photo. Awesome. He hadn't been in touch because he'd switched from me to my sister.
He's not someone who'd just switch.
Then what's this? Sasha proudly showed their social media interactions. I didn't want to see it. I really didn't want to, but I had to confirm if Sasha's story was true. So, reluctantly, I slowly scrolled through the messages. As I scrolled, messages of him saying he liked Sasha more and was leaving me appeared.
No way.
See? He likes me, not you. So, stop talking about my boyfriend now. Sasha's triumphant face left me speechless. I was speechless, utterly stunned and unable to say anything. I immediately called him.
What's this about you dating my sister?
But he just said, well, yeah.
Why?
Because Sasha's cuter and nicer than you.
No way.
I was stunned. Sasha, nice? Impossible. I wanted to deny it. But the shock that my boyfriend really chose Sasha over me, thinking she was nicer, left me speechless. Is that all? Okay, then. I'm hanging up.
Wait, just...
Bye. And like that, our relationship ended abruptly. Just when I had finally found a boyfriend, Sasha had to ruin it. I never thought she'd stoop so low as to steal my boyfriend, despite her history of harassment. She must really hate me. But why? I couldn't figure it out. I had talked to our parents about Sasha many times. They always scolded her, but I couldn't bring myself to tell them she stole my boyfriend. She must know I couldn't talk to anyone about this. Sasha proudly introduced my ex-boyfriend as her new boyfriend to our parents. And then, she started talking about how fun her dates were and about their plans to stay overnight together. She shared various episodes about her boyfriend, always making sure to do it in front of me. Our parents, unaware he was stolen from me, listened happily. Emily, don't you want a boyfriend too?
Yeah, sure.
I knew Mom meant no harm. So I just responded politely. Sasha, who flaunted her relationship with my ex, ended up breaking up with him in less than 2 months. I don't know the exact reason, but I saw her angry in her room, so they probably had a fight. He was the type to easily switch girlfriends. Maybe he cheated on Sasha too. After the breakup, Sasha became even more volatile, directing her anger at me.
Why did you date such a terrible guy? He's the worst. You're the one who stole him, and now you're complaining. If you hadn't dated him, I wouldn't have either. It's all your fault.
Sasha wouldn't listen. She couldn't be satisfied unless things went her way, and she took it out on others. I knew this, but for some reason, I couldn't let it go when it came to the boyfriend issue. Looking back, he was the worst. But at that time, I really liked him and couldn't let go, so I kept arguing back. The more I argued, the angrier Sasha got. After the boyfriend drama, our relationship soured. We barely spoke. Eventually, Sasha went to college and moved out, and our relationship became neutral, not good, but not particularly bad. But then something triggered her to start harassing me again. It was her marriage. Her partner's name was Tom Johnson, whom she met at a mixer and later married.
Congrats, sis,
I said, invited to her wedding and offering congratulations. I thought she'd be happy, but...
Emily.
Sorry for getting married before you. You should find a good man and get married too. Though, it's probably impossible for you. Even at her wedding, a special occasion, Sasha mocked me. Seriously, I'm so glad I found a great guy. And you should be thankful, you know? I didn't even want to invite you, but I thought our parents might say something, so I did.
Oh, is that so?
What? No, thank you for inviting you. That's unbelievable. Sasha laughed loudly. And I just muttered an apology. Because of this, I couldn't focus at the wedding. I couldn't bring myself to feel happy for her. I just went through the motions, eating and watching a video of Sasha and Tom's memories. Everyone else was moved, but Sasha's words stuck in my head, and I couldn't even remember the video. After that wedding, Sasha and I barely spoke. I heard from my mother that Sasha and Tom were living with my parents now. They moved in because both of their incomes were low, and Sasha insisted. Now, 5 years after Sasha's wedding, I dreaded meeting them, only returning home for holidays. Before going to my parents' house, I told Tyler all about Sasha.
He probably won't be rude to someone he's meeting for the first time. But if it gets too much, let me know, okay? Don't worry. I can handle anyone. But even if Emily says this much, I'm a bit scared.
Tyler smiled warmly as always. I wanted to visit when Sasha wasn't there, but she insisted on meeting the man I was marrying. I didn't want to show him, but we'd have to meet eventually. Better now than having her ruin our wedding. Trying to calm down, I rang the doorbell at my parents' house.
Welcome.
The door opened, and my smiling mother came out.
Come in, come in.
Following her, we sat on the living room sofa. I gently rubbed Tyler's tense back, trying to calm him. I'd never seen him this nervous. Is he okay? Was he scared of Sasha? Or just nervous about meeting my parents? There were several possibilities, but I couldn't be sure. Good to see you. We've been waiting.
Finally, Emily is getting married too. I'm glad you found a wonderful person.
My parents welcomed us warmly, blessing our marriage. Tyler's expression gradually softened, returning to his usual self. I hoped everything would end without incident. But just then, the living room door opened. Sasha and Tom had decided not to let this moment pass quietly. There stood Sasha and Tom, smirking smugly.
Hey, sis.
Wow, he's actually a decent guy. Sasha, without greeting, sat next to Tyler and entwined her arm with his.
Hey! Sasha!
Dad tried to intervene, but Sasha didn't listen. There are things you just don't do, even to your sister's husband. I tried to stop her too, but Sasha only tightened her grip on Tyler. Caught in Sasha's antics, Tyler, looking troubled but with a gentle voice, introduced himself. My name is Tyler Smith. I look forward to getting along with everyone.
So, your name is Tyler?
Sasha was overly familiar for a first meeting. I couldn't hide my disgust and frowned.
Emily, don't make such a face. It's rude, isn't it?
What, Emily?
Got a problem?
Sasha glared at me with a threatening look, different from the one she gave Tyler. Sorry. It's nothing. Not wanting to escalate things, I reluctantly apologized. My apology seemed to please Sasha and Tom. They circled around Tyler, bombarding him with questions about how we got along, who proposed, and why we decided to get married, delving into every detail of our relationship. It would have been fine, but their choice of words was crude. I frowned again, and this time Tom caught it.
What's with that face? You're already unattractive enough, stop it.
The reason Tom was harsh towards me was because Sasha always had a strong attitude against me. He probably thought it was okay to say anything to me. I knew arguing back was futile, so I stayed silent, which probably made them think they could say anything. Finally, with our parents' intervention, our visit ended. Tyler and I headed home. Sorry for all that.
It's okay. Are you all right, Emily?
Despite everything, Tyler was smiling, concerned about me. I genuinely felt happy, yet at the same time, I was anxious about whether it was right for me to marry Tyler. He was such a wonderful person. Doesn't he deserve someone better than me? But I couldn't voice this doubt to him directly. What should I do? This question weighed heavily on my mind. With no one to confide in, our wedding preparations continued. Half a year later, my partner and I, having registered our marriage, were about to have our wedding ceremony. In a solemn ceremony hall, with beautiful dresses and makeup. The extraordinary scene quickened my heartbeat. Looking back over these 6 months, my life has been miserable. Sasha, who had eavesdropped on a conversation between my parents and me, figured out where Tyler and I lived. Since then, she found reasons to barge into our house. But it wasn't just Sasha. Tom, too, would come in without any bad intentions, drink, and make a racket. Despite my repeated requests not to come over, they wouldn't listen. They would just drink and look down on me.
Why did someone like you even get married? Can't believe you're Sasha's sister. Why are you so ugly? It's embarrassing to have a relative like you.
I couldn't respond to Tom's words.
Say something.
Startled by his sudden shout, I trembled as Tom continued his tirade. Ugh, gross. You make me sick. I'm leaving. Every time he came over, he'd get mad and leave on his own. Tom was simply using me as an outlet for his stress. If I endured, it would eventually end. This thought had taken root in my mind. Even if we had our wedding, their behavior wouldn't change. Should we move? As I was lost in thought, the door to the waiting room opened.
Emily, are you okay?
Turning around, there was Tyler. He smiled kindly, as usual, checking on how I was.
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
For a brief moment, Tyler and I chatted to ease each other's tension.
By the way.
But just as I brought up a new topic, the door to the waiting room opened again. Startled, I turned to see an angry Tom and a tearful Sasha. What had happened? Stunned by their odd appearance, Tom shouted,
"Your husband got another woman pregnant. Pay us $200,000 in damages, you jerks."
At Tom's words, Tyler and I burst into laughter. Naturally, Sasha and Tom were dumbfounded.
Hey!
What's so funny? This is serious. Is there any proof? Proof?
Sasha told me. If Sasha says it, it must be true. Yes! Tyler got me pregnant.
How?
How? What do you mean?
Sasha was perplexed by my question. Tom scolded me for being crude, but that wasn't what I wanted to know.
Big sis, you have a condition that prevents you from getting pregnant, right? What?
Sasha awkwardly averted her gaze at my words.
You blurted it out once when you barged into our house drunk. Tyler heard it too, so it's not a misunderstanding. Oh, and you said you told your mom about it too, right?
Let's check with her.
Hey! Emily!
I wasn't going to let them make me the villain. Ignoring Sasha's attempt to stop me, I called for my mom. My parents, Tyler's parents, and relatives who heard the commotion filled the room. In front of everyone, I boldly asked about Sasha's condition. At first, my mom hesitated, but upon explaining the situation, she changed her tone.
Yes, Sasha has a condition that prevents her from getting pregnant. She told me herself, and I even went with her for tests because she was anxious. Mom!
Perhaps even she couldn't forgive them for trying to deceive us for money. My mom looked at Sasha and Tom with intense anger. In the stunned room, Sasha and Tom were visibly panicking.
Well. Hey, Sasha. You can't get pregnant? Why didn't you tell me? Because I thought you'd leave me if I did. You love kids, after all. But that's no reason to deceive. What are we going to do now?
The two of them started arguing, without even apologizing to us. The scene was embarrassingly disgraceful. It seemed Sasha had lied to Tom. By falsely accusing Tyler of getting her pregnant, it would put Tyler in a vulnerable position. Even if Tyler hadn't done anything wrong, and had no obligation to pay, his social reputation could still be harmed. Being pregnant and not having relations are different things. But this only applies to someone who can normally get pregnant. Sasha, having forgotten she had drunkenly revealed her condition, was boldly playing the victim. Sasha was undoubtedly at fault.
Why did you lie like that, Sasha? Well, answer me.
Startled by my father's command, Sasha began to speak.
I needed money. I talked with Tom about pretending Tyler got me pregnant to extort money. Tom agreed.
What about proof?
You need solid evidence to claim damages.
After a brief silence, Sasha quietly admitted, I hadn't thought about that. It was just too much. They only thought of the immediate moment. Nothing had changed from the past. That's what came to my mind. Then, suddenly, one of the relatives, my mother-in-law, spoke up.
Tom?
You're cheating, aren't you? The waiting room became chaotic again.
What? Me, cheating? Why would you? I've seen you at the supermarket where I work with a woman who's not Sasha, and with a child too. I thought I recognized her face. Is that true?
One shocking revelation after another came to light. I was speechless.
What's going on here? Well, this is unbelievable. The worst.
Sasha, in her anger, tried to destroy some of the waiting room's furnishings. My father quickly intervened, and Sasha and Tom were eventually taken outside. After that, the wedding proceeded normally, but of course, those two weren't there. Thankfully, the ceremony and reception went smoothly without any issues. After the wedding, I asked my parents to keep an eye on those two. But I wondered how long that would last. Should moving be the first thing we do? Or should we consult a lawyer? I didn't know where to start. But I knew we had to act quickly. What if they barged into our house again like usual? They seemed to hold a grudge against us. It wouldn't end simply. Why were we being targeted when we had done nothing wrong? However much I thought about it, no answer came. Later. In the end, there was no contact from Sasha or Tom. Maybe they settled everything without us knowing, but could something that convenient happen? Just when I was thinking about it, one day, the doorbell rang. Tentatively, I looked through the monitor and saw an agitated Tom.
Tyler, it's Tom.
Tom? Next to me, Tyler looked at the monitor. He looks pretty angry. What's his problem now? Tyler seemed quite wary of Sasha and Tom. Frowning, he watched the monitor. And then said, "I'll go talk to him."
Really? Are you sure that's safe?
We won't get anywhere without taking action. Stay hidden and be ready to call the police if anything happens. Tyler handed me his smartphone and walked toward the front door. Yes? What do you want? Tyler spoke calmly, in contrast to Tom, who started yelling excitedly. It was frightening. That's the honest feeling I had.
What do you mean? What do I want? Let me in.
That's not possible. We can talk here if you have something to say.
Shut up. Whoa!
The moment Tom shouted, I heard Tyler's startled voice. Then, with heavy footsteps, Tom barged into the house.
Tom! What do you think you're doing? Shut up. That wedding of yours has caused me so much trouble. If it weren't for that, my affair wouldn't have been exposed. It's all your fault.
It seemed his affair was exposed by my mother-in-law, and things had gone south with Sasha.
The problem is that you cheated in the first place. Shut it. What's wrong with having a bit of fun? Acting all high and mighty.
Saying this, Tom started knocking down furniture and decorations recklessly.
Hey! Stop that! Call the police! You think you can? Go ahead and try.
With no other option, I quickly called the police. In a few minutes, they arrived. The house was a mess, with glass and water from vases scattered everywhere. The police officers frowned at the chaos.
You actually called them? I won't forgive this. Remember this.
With a rather pathetic parting shot, Tom was taken away. Afterward, the police asked us about what happened and then left. The house was in a terrible state. Tyler and I started cleaning up, sighing. That was the last time we spoke with Tom. A few hours later, my phone rang. Glancing at the screen, I saw my mother's name. Could it be about Tom? I quickly answered the call. Sorry, Tom did something terrible. Oh, did the police tell you anything? Apparently, the police had contacted her to pick up Tom. She immediately went and found Tom sulking. After hearing the situation, she brought him back home. Sorry for making such a strange request. It's okay. I'm sorry too. We were keeping an eye on him, but he disappeared before we knew it. Once you guys move, I'll tell him to leave the house immediately. If my parents kicked him out before we moved, he would probably start frequenting our house. Appreciating their concern, I thanked my mom. We exchanged updates about our situations and the current state of Sasha and Tom before ending the call. Tom had apparently calmed down. Probably after being reprimanded by the police. Sasha, overwhelmed by Tom's actions, was quietly staying in her room. Their selfish actions had caught up with them, rendering them dysfunctional as a couple. What path would they take now? It seemed unlikely they would reconcile, leaving divorce as the only option. My mom promised to keep me informed of any developments, so I decided to wait for her update. Later, my mom contacted me. It was about Sasha and Tom. As I had anticipated, Sasha and Tom had divorced. Tom left quietly, but Sasha, claiming it was her parents' house, refused to leave. However, her actions angered my dad. They tried to frame us and extort money. They continually lied about various things. They were told that their actions were outrageous, and such people couldn't be kept in the house. My usually gentle father became so angry his face turned red, which finally made Sasha realize the gravity of her actions, and she decided to leave the house. Fortunately, by then, our move was complete and we were relieved. We hadn't shared our new address with anyone, so it was unlikely she would find us. Finally, it was all over. I thought we didn't have to be afraid anymore. But the day after my mom's call, Sasha called me. Reluctantly, I answered. Then, in her usual manner, Sasha started talking.
Hey, Emily. How are you? I got kicked out, you know? I have no money. Can I stay at your place?
Oh, you moved, right? Where are you now?
What? Stay with us? What are you talking about?
Wait, are you mad too?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Are you still holding a grudge about the past?
I can apologize for that. Let's live together again. Can you stop making a mockery of me?
I was furious with Sasha's carefree attitude. Holding a grudge? Asking for forgiveness to stop my complaints? I wished she would just stop making a mockery of everything. She hadn't even apologized for her actions at the wedding. Did she not realize she was in the wrong? The more I tried to understand Sasha, the more I felt repulsed.
Listen, do you have any idea how much you've hurt me? Holding a grudge? Of course I am. And what about the wedding? You forgot your own condition and drunkenly blabbered on, then demanded money from Tyler for getting you pregnant? Stop joking around. You only use us when it's convenient for you. I'm embarrassed to even call someone like you my sister.
Before I knew it, I had let out everything I had been holding back against Sasha. I was truly ashamed that she was my sister.
Do you understand how I feel? If you do, then don't ever try to involve yourself with us again.
Immediately after, the line went dead with a click. It was finally over. I didn't care anymore about not receiving an apology. She should never involve herself with us again. I felt satisfied just having said what I needed to. Half a year after the turmoil, Tyler and I were living a normal life. Although thinking about those times still upset me, I was happy we had effectively cut ties with Sasha and Tom. The only regret was not getting compensated for the furniture Tom destroyed. But I didn't want to initiate contact with them over it. In fact, our home felt more serene now. Despite everything, being with Tyler and enjoying our simple life brought me immense happiness. I was just grateful for the normalcy we had now.